Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Primetime CP23 here, back with another episode of the Why We Play podcast. Today we have as a guest my good friend Jake, aka Sietod.
Sietod, Sietod, it all works. Hello.
Yeah, words are fun.
So are words with friends.
That's probably true. So we have quite a bit to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit of news. Not much, but a little bit. Just because patch 2.5 for Diablo 3 was announced, 3 or 4 days ago? And the PTR for it actually went live with all the patch notes and stuff. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I'm not sure how much.
Preliminary patch notes. Let's lead with that. These are patch notes. Like, we expect there to be a lot of fixes, a lot of changes. This isn't just, the PTR is up, these are everything that's coming. No, this is going to be like a 3-month process before we see any of this, probably.
Yes, that is correct. And I also assume that there will be a lot more balance changes and stuff. I would not be surprised if some Witch Doctor shit got nerfed, because Witch Doctor is everything.
That would honestly surprise me, considering Witch Doctor has been everything for quite a while now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Blizzard has funny ways of balancing things, and they don't really like to balance. Like, if they bring the Witch Doctor down, they have to bring something else up, or nobody's going to play the game, because Witch Doctor is the top DPS, like, bar none.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it gets nerfed, and now nobody's clearing greater after 100 anymore.
Yeah, because, I mean, if they nerf Witch Doctor, which, by the way, that's all speculation. There's been no word that they're going to nerf Witch Doctor or even anything else. To my knowledge, there were no nerfs listed in these patch notes.
But again, these patch notes are literally just fresh.
Yes, this is very preliminary stuff. I assume that we'll get at least 2 or 3 more big items in future patch notes, because as we record this, it is February 3rd. I doubt 2.5 and Season 10 is going to go live before probably April.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment.
I would think probably beginning of April will be
most people
Season
agree.
10.
Yeah, most people agree. We're looking at the next season within 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my guess is that we've got 2.5 / Season 10 coming in like April, and then sometime in maybe mid-July is when we'll get Season 11 and the Necromancer. That's my guess.
I think we'll see 2 more seasons before we see Necromancer, because they've been saying Necro will be the second half of 2017, and the way Blizzard likes to work is they use these terms very, very, very loosely. Like, I've been playing WoW for God knows how many years now, and anytime they say second half of a year, you can usually expect it like fourth quarter.
Yeah. When they say second half, they mean very seriously. Second half.
Yeah, like, it could be any time in that second half, but expect it much later, because we like to polish things.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk a little bit about 2.5. First thing I want to talk about is primal items. Primal Ancients.
No. Let's not lead off with that. Let's lead off with the actual big news in this thing, because you've been playing this game for less than a month now. I've been playing it since release, and thank God an armory is finally coming.
Yeah. So with the armory, you're going to be able to save 5 builds for each character, and then you literally swap items, swap builds completely at the touch of a button, which, as you said, you've been playing significantly longer than I have, but even I can already see the massive benefit that this is going to be, because I've been playing Barbarian, for instance, this season, and back when we were running in groups, I would always run the support barb, Z-barb, and it would take 15-20 minutes of messing around with items and stuff to make sure that I had the correct gear equipped, and that, because, obviously I don't run support barb and solo.
Right.
So, what's your biggest excitement about the armory coming?
My big monk. Like you say, I mean, we play. You and I are probably the only two people in our group who really play the ZDPS classes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for anyone who doesn't know, our group consists of myself, Primetime, our friend Caleb, who is here for Deltaeus, and our friend Jamie, who is here for Vathan. Those two, Deltaeus, he'll play only DPS. Like, he refuses to play ZTAPS. It's just not in his blood.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime he plays ZDPS, he's always like, oh, well, I can do this to increase my damage instead of doing this, which helps the entire group. And Vathan just goes off on him completely, because Vathan, the other guys who will actually play ZDPS.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious, but it's terrible. Terrifying.
Like them just yelling at each other in chat.
Yeah. Yeah. But, so, it usually comes down to either... Before you started playing, it was me and Jamie doing ZDPS.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Like, Caleb always did DPS. So, to be able to switch, like you said, on the fly from ZDPS to Seven-Sided Monk to Generator Monk to, Inna's Generator to, Sun Wukong build. There are so many potential builds for Monk that having this it's a quality of life change that is just massive.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane that it's taken this long.
Yeah, the armory and the, I think it's called the crafting mat items, which we'll get into in just a second. Those are technically just quality of life changes, but they are such significant quality of life changes that I think it will actually improve the game to a point where I don't consider them just quality of life changes, because that's how big a difference they're going to make.
They are so quality of life that I guarantee everyone, not everyone, but most of the people who quit because of this shit is going to come back. I'll come back and play it just because I no longer have to keep 50 different items in my inventory just to swap back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I can just go and it does it from the stash. You can equip and unequip from your armory from the stash. You don't even have to have it all in your inventory.
Yeah, the only thing about the actual switching of builds through the armory that I'm not real sure about is that it does unequip all gems. If you're using, just for instance, because it's what I've been playing recently, if I'm running my Whirlwind Barb set with full red gems in my chest piece and legs, if then I click switch to Z-Barb, and of course I have resistance gems in my chest piece and leggings, it will automatically kick out both the items from the Whirlwind set and put it back into your inventory, or I think it'll even go into your stash if that's where it was saved. I don't know that for sure.
I'm not sure about that.
But in addition to kicking out the items, it will actually kick the gems out of the items, which is not a huge deal, but
I'm actually a fan of that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually a fan of that because we play seasons.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much exclusively what our group plays, is we do seasons up until the point where we don't need to do seasons anymore. So we'll do the season, and then during that season, during the first month and a half of the season, you're working on 6 gems that are perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You've probably only got 6 gems right now on your character that are absolutely top of the line, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
and
so
I think 60 some hours into playing.
Yeah,
maybe
so I mean,
more.
those 6 gems, you don't have to go looking for them anymore. You armory it, it kicks those gems out. You can put them right back into the different piece of gear you put on.
That's a good point. I hadn't really thought about that part of it. I was just thinking about the annoyance of, which, I mean, it's not that big a deal. But,
the annoyance of having to re-equip them.
Yeah, the annoyance of having to actually drag and drop 3 gems into the chest piece, and then drag and drop 2 gems into the leggings. Again, it's not a huge deal. Even what I was thinking of, I mean, it would be a minor annoyance in an otherwise amazing system, because I'm super excited for the armory.
Yeah, Armory is my highlight of this patch.
Mm-hmm.
And, that transitions really easily into the next part, the Primal Ancients that you were trying to talk about first. So,
Yeah, let's actually. I mean, you're probably right. We probably should talk about this other stuff first. One last note about gems in the armory and stuff, just while we're floating around the subject, is they've actually removed the cost to remove gems at the jeweler.
which is
It's
nice-ish. I mean,
nice. It's
they
cool.
they they had to do it with the Armory, or
Mm-hmm.
else people were just going to go to the Armory and kick out all their gems and get around having to use the gem crafter. Like it's just a
Yeah.
thing where they're like, all right, well, this system replaces this system. This is now pointless. Let's just remove the cost entirely.
Yeah, which is good because I mean it's not a huge deal. I think it's like 50,000 gold per gem or some crap like that. Like it's not a huge amount. It's just a minor annoyance, and so
Right.
this will fix that little gripe.
The big
Um,
thing that this really matters on is the legendary gems,
mm-hmm.
because the legendary gems cost 250,000 to remove from a necklace, a ring,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. If this gets rid of the cost on those, damn, sorry. If this gets rid of the cost on those, then I mean that's probably a good 25 million gold saved per character per season.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes towards the leveling of the basic gems. I mean, every inch of gold counts in seasons up until the point where you're perfect.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time in this season where I mean, it was still I think opening weekend of the season, but there was a time when I was down to like 100,000 gold. Like I was at a point where I couldn't do anything. Fortunately, I think it was either you or Caleb had a puzzle ring that we just went and ran a vault real quick, and
I was about to say,
and that
and
fixed it. But
that's kind of the thing too. Like to illustrate the point, is we had 12 puzzle rings this season.
mm-hmm.
We had 12 puzzle rings within 1 week of the season starting,
Yeah,
and we were all fairly broke fairly quickly because we didn't quite catch the gear we needed for for T13 vault runs yet.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, the gold changes are nice.
Yeah, definitely nice. From there, let's go directly into talking about crafting mat and bounties and stuff. So the two biggest changes coming with the crafting mat and bounties are the crafting mat, those items that you get from the bounties in order to craft things, as well as your hellfire items that you're able to craft your hellfire amulet and rings from, and your actual crafting materials: Death's Breath, Veiled Crystals, reusable parts,
Arcane dust.
and Forgotten Souls are no longer physical items. They are now in a separate, like, basically separate inventory tab. When you open
It's a
up
currency. It's now just basically a currency.
That's a good way to put it. Yes, it's essentially a currency. You access it by hitting your inventory button, and then there's a small anvil in the bottom corner of your inventory. And when you click on that, it brings up a little side menu, kind of how it does if you click details under your words are fun. The thing that shows your detailed stats.
Oh, your character sheet.
Character sheet, thank you. Sheet damage and stuff. It just opens up another little side menu, and you can sort through all that. That is good. I mean, it's really cool. It's more cool for people who play like non-seasonal a lot, because those are the people that have 8,000 death's breaths and crap.
Well, Death Press, yes.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm curious about in this change is whether or not they're going to make them cross-character. So,
that's a good point. I would think, but I don't know. I have not seen any confirmation on that.
like, the big benefit of the current system is that you can transfer all the physical items between characters. So, like, you get a fresh character, you're trying to roll for something,
Pops
you swap
up into your stash.
Yeah, it just pops up in your stash, and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if this new system doesn't allow cross-character crafting materials, then every single character you make is going to have to farm for materials. I highly doubt that's going to be the case. Like, Blizzard is pretty smart about this. I'm sure they're going to implement this to be cross. But, I mean, it has to be said that there is a possibility for this to go wrong.
Yeah, I have not seen anything about that. I mean, you would be right. That would be a big screw up on Blizzard's part if they make it so that crafting mat materials are not transferable between characters. That would be a huge screw up on their part.
I like I said, I doubt that's the case, but I mean, if it is, then that would almost limit anyone playing seasonals to only play one character.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to continue farming for materials on multiple characters.
I mean, Blizzard, you kind of give them the benefit of the doubt, no matter what, just because after all these years, I mean, they generally seem to know what they're doing. They seem to be really good about what they do.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I trust them
WoW.
I trust them enough to at least listen to the community, and the Diablo community is probably the loudest community of any of their games. Like, coming as a WoW fan, the Diablo community is the loudest community of Blizzard. Like, there is no shutting a Diablo fan up, which is fine. I mean, it helps get things fixed a lot.
Well, and then the other big change there are with bounties themselves. They have actually removed the bonus cash that you get for doing bounties, and they have now given you a large Heraldric chest, which actually has as much stuff in it as a bonus cache and a
Heraldric cache.
Yeah, Heraldric cache, I guess is what it's called. I wanted to say Hadrig's cache, but that's Hadrig's gift at the beginning of the season. That's a whole separate thing.
Yeah, Hadrig is the blacksmith.
So what? You and I briefly talked about that off camera, but what is your thought about removing the bonus bounties?
Okay, so a little touchback here. Like Primetime said, we discussed this a little bit. The group I talked about earlier, the Diablo group that we're a part of, we all communicate via Facebook on a group. So Primetime immediately popped up, and he was like, "Hey, did you guys see the changes? You know, I'm excited for. I don't know if I'm excited about the bounty change." Well, Hippo, damn it, Primetime.
Just call me Hippo, damn it.
Okay. So Hippo has been playing this for, like I said, probably a month and a half, 2 months now.
I think I got it in November.
So 2
few months.
Yeah. So whereas the rest of us have been playing this since release. So all he knows is the bonus system right now. So as a player who's played this from the beginning, I am very excited for the new system because it means there's no more chasing bonuses. And the reason I didn't like chasing bonuses is because at the beginning of the season, you're all trying to complete your set. You don't care about the cube for a little bit. You don't care about those extra materials until you've got a set going. And, you know, it's a grind for bounty for Act 1 and Act 3 or 4, mostly. 3. It's a grind for Act 1 and Act 3. Act 1, the Ring of Royal Grandeur. And Act 3 for the Illusory Boots. So, the Ring of Royal Grandeur, for anyone who doesn't play, it's a ring that says all set bonuses require one less piece to activate. So like if you have a 6-piece set, you only need to wear 5 pieces. It makes it so you can make sets, mix and match sets really easily to get really powerful effects from different sets. So the problem with farming in public right now is that everyone chases bounties no matter what. Beginning of the season, end of the season, everyone is chasing the bonus bounty. And what this means is when you complete a bonus bounty in one act, that bonus changes to another area when you turn that bounty in. So you're literally hopping from Act 1 to Act 5 to Act 2 to Act 3 to Act 4. You know, the bonus is random. So you're just chasing that bonus around, and it makes it really difficult to farm for like Ring of Royal Grandeur for anyone just starting the season. Because you've got to sit through all 5 acts. You've got to sit through until Act 1 is the bonus. And it's supposed to be 20% chance for every single act to have the bonus at the beginning. but I've never ever seen Act 1 on a bonus to begin with. I've never gone into a public game and seen Act 1 on the bonus.
What I normally notice, and of course this could just be coincidence, but to me, I normally see the bonus act being the act that you spawn into the game in at the start. I don't know if that's just coincidence or if there's actually some kind of mechanic into the game where that's how it's supposed to work. I don't know.
I'm kind of curious about that because I've never really, like I said, I've never really drawn a correlation. I've just shown that I never get Act 1 on a bonus to begin with.
Yeah.
Anyways, so these new large hearted caches, they just give all the bonuses of a normal and a bonus cache without having to do the bonuses anymore.
Mm.
So you get double the goodies for not having to do the bonus bounties anymore. So all you're doing is the same bounties you did before without chasing bonuses and getting the same as 2 bags. I mean, it's like they just took their original system and said, hey, let's beef up the rewards. And that's perfect. I love that.
Yeah, I agree. I had not thought about it the way that you think about it until we talked about it. When I first heard about it, it didn't really strike me one way or the other as a good or bad idea. It was just, okay. But, yeah, I 100% agree with you now that I understand, that point of view. I hadn't really been thinking about the Ring of Royal Grandeur specifically. I had just kind of been thinking about the crafting materials. And, of course, the crafting materials are important, but, I mean, you have to get those one way or the other. But at the beginning of the season especially, the Ring of Royal Grandeur is what's important. Like, you have to have it.
Right, and almost every class runs the Ring of Royal Grandeur. So it'll make farming that a little bit more, I won't say easier, but it'll make it more effective to farm it in public.
Yeah, probably more efficient because you can just, pop into a game, do the Act 1 bounties with 2 or 3 people, get it done like 5-10 minutes, and then quit the game, come back and do a new game. It'll just make it more efficient and probably a lot faster.
It'll make the Ring of Royal Grandeur farming a lot faster because you just go into a game, you split bounty, get Act 1 done, open your cache, you get it, you don't, you leave, you come in, do it again. I mean, it's just, it's a lot simpler that way.
And the other thing that it's going to do is it's going to lead to a lot less fear of noobs because I myself, I'm still pretty new at this game. I'm still basically a noob. But when I go into a public game, or if someone joins my game, when I'm specifically farming bounties, there is no greater fear than some idiot turning in an Act 4 bounty when the bonus is
off the bonus,
off bonus when the bonus is in Act 3. There's no greater fear than that.
And there's no greater, like, you see someone who's got a Chinese name. And you're like, all right, well, I can't communicate with this person. And you see them. You see them sitting at Tristram in Act 1 with that act done, and it's not on the bonus. And you're just like, don't do it. Don't do it, man.
Please don't be a dick.
And then it pops up, and it's like, bounty complete. And you're like, no!
Yeah.
And then you set your computer on fire and have to buy a new one. But that's a different story for another time.
Quick little aside here. I think you're losing your cape a little bit there.
Yeah, so my cape, it's cold. I live in Michigan, and it's like 12 right now, and it feels like it's like 3.
I mean, so, I think it's like 30-something here in Kansas City, and I've got my blanket. So I've got my blanket on my lap. I'm not using it as a cape, but I got it on my lap, keeping my legs warm, so...
Oh, no, you can't see the rest of this. I'm sitting on this thing, and it's wrapped around me at the waist down. And this part is like, oh, the good stuff, man.
I mean, why not just buy a Snuggie?
I was going to. So there's a bit of a story there, too, if you want to hear it.
All right.
So we went to Walmart probably 3 months ago looking for one. Beginning of winter, we're like, all right, we're going to get a Snuggie because Jake likes to use his computer at night. So... Go to Walmart, they don't sell them. We're like, all right, Walmart doesn't sell them anymore. So we went to Walgreens. Walgreens didn't have any.
That's weird that
Yeah,
Walgreens didn't have one.
yeah, we were pissed. So we stopped looking because, Walmart, we figured if Walmart didn't stock them anymore, then they weren't going to stock them anymore.
Yeah.
And we went back there probably 4 days ago, and they had something like 200 Snuggies on their shelves. Oh, I was pissed.
I guess they had just run out of stock.
I guess. Tanya was like, you want one? I'm like, no, I ain't buying one out of principle now, dicks.
Yeah, I had actually never used a Snuggie. I'd always thought they were dumb. And then
I think Tanya thinks they're dumb. Like, she laughs at me that I want one.
Well, but then when I moved in with Ray, it was really cold one night after we moved here to this duplex. We moved in here in November. And at one point it was really cold. I didn't want to turn on the heater. And I just got home from work. And I saw her Snuggie sitting there. So I'm like, am I really going to do this? And then I picked it up and it was nice and soft. And I'm like, yeah, why not? So that night I played Halo with a Hello Kitty Snuggie on. So...
There you go.
But we're getting distracted. Let's get back on topic here.
The topic is stay warm, children.
Basically, yes. So we talked about the armory. We talked about bounties.
Primal Ancients.
Primal Ancients. Something that, upon watching some YouTube videos and some streams and stuff, it sounds like no one was asking for this. And a lot of people are actually pissed about it. I'm okay with it. I don't mind.
As the unluckiest member of our group, I am pissed about this.
Okay.
I am the guy at the beginning of a new season who spends 200 hours farming a furnace.
Mm-hmm.
Cubing, upgrading. I am the guy. I've gotten one furnace to drop in my entire 4 or 5 years of playing this stupid game.
Yeah.
So, adding entire another list of items to the game via this new upgrade system is just not going to work for me.
Yeah.
I will have 300 Primal Ancient Scarbringers by the end of this.
I mean, as long as you're playing Monk, that's not a bad thing.
On my Demon Hunter.
So, in case you're out of the loop, Primal Ancients are a new tier of item in Diablo 3 that's coming in patch 2.5. And basically they are 30% stronger, and I think it's like 10%, or no, it's like 80% less likely to drop than ancient items. So it's 30% stronger than ancient items and much less common. I think the overall drop rate for Primal Ancients is supposed to be like 1%. Like 1% of the items that you get are going to be primals.
And so for those of you keeping track of current drop rates, a furnace has a 5% drop rate from mobs and a 2.5% upgrade rate. An ancient furnace then has a 0.25% drop rate, or no, a 0.5% drop rate and a 0.25% upgrade rate. So a primal ancient furnace is going to have a 0.025% a 0.0025% upgrade chance. Come on.
Now, the only silver lining there is that normally if you get a furnace, you're not going to be equipping it anyway. It's going to be in the cube. That's the only silver lining there.
That's not a silver lining, because that means if you get a primal ancient furnace, that shit's going in your cube.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I'd be a little salty. I mean, if you get a furnace to drop, you want it to be like the shittiest furnace there's ever been, so that you can just cube it.
Like, to be honest, that's kind of the problem. You have these two systems that don't work well together. You've got the cube, which just completely destroys an item and gets bonuses, and then you've got this system that just upgrades these items exponentially. Like, the chance of these two interacting well is extremely low.
Yeah.
If you get an incense torch, if you get a furnace, if you get, God, I can't even think, the flow of eternity. If you get a dragon, a flying dragon, if you get any of these weapons that matter, they don't matter because they're going in the cube.
Quick little comment to piss you off.
Oh, don't
even.
What?
Okay, so you know how since the beginning of the season I've been like, well, I'm gonna play Barb off the start of the season, and then I had you power level a Crusader for me. Well, one of the I'm gonna try and finish all of the season journey levels.
Okay.
And for one of those things, you have to complete, I think, 3 conquests. So I looked through the conquests. One of them was complete a GR45 solo with no set items equipped. So I thought about it, and I'm like, what would be really easy to do that with?
Satyr?
Well, probably. But I landed on, because you had already dropped or you or Caleb or somebody had already dropped a Scarbringer and a Vengeful Wind for me. So I'm like, you know what? Well, of course, you don't really need Vengeful Wind for no set items because you won't be using Sun Wukong. I'm distracting myself now. So I'm like, you know what? I'll make a monk and build an LTK monk with no set items. I'll basically try and build the Legacy of Nightmares version, and then I'll unequip the Legacy of Nightmares set, and then see if I can run a 45 using Unity and conventional elements.
Right.
So I jump into a public game. A couple guys invite me. I just popped in the chat, hey, can someone power level a new monk? Well, so a group with 2 monks and a demon hunter invited me into a game. I went into their game. They power leveled me real quick. And just through the course of leveling me, I didn't really get anything. But I was bored, so I'm like, hey, you guys want to run a vault or something real quick? So we ran a vault. In one T10 vault, or no, it was T11. We bumped it up to T11 after I was leveled. Things that actually dropped for me were 2 pieces of Sun Wukong set and a flying dragon. My one of the monks that I was in a game with, he had a Jian and a Cashew drop, and both of the Shenlong's weapons.
No way.
And he didn't need them, so he's just like, hey, you want these? And I'm like, hell yeah!
Wow.
So, so on a monk that I've played for literally an hour and a half, I already have a flying dragon and half of what I need for the Legacy Nightmares Lashing Tail kick build.
That's kind of how it goes, though, isn't it?
Sometimes, yeah. You just get lucky sometimes. And I got very lucky that the monks in that game with me did not need the items that we got together. And another little story. Last season, which, by the way, was my first season, I started out playing monk. No idea what the hell I was doing. I bought all the stash tabs that I could, and they were literally completely full with legendaries because I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I should disenchant and what I shouldn't, or break down, whatever. So, at one point I run out of Forgotten Souls, and Jake is like, oh, well, you need to just, break down everything that you don't need. I didn't know what I needed. I broke down a furnace. because I didn't know any better. And then later on that season, I'm looking at like builds and stuff, and everything's like, use a furnace. I'm like, God damn it.
And again, I'm the guy who plays for 300 hours in a season and doesn't get a furnace.
Yeah.
Who plays for years and never sees a furnace. Hippo gets in his first season, gets a furnace within like 12 hours of playing.
And didn't even know what it was.
And didn't even know what it was.
Yeah. So, well, we're kind of getting off topic here. Let's bring it back just a little bit. I got a couple more questions outside of Diablo.
Okay, so hang on right there. So I kind of have a suggestion for this, like outside the video. Like you have editing software, you can edit this, yeah?
Actually, no. I'm not editing. I just post directly up to YouTube.
Okay. I kind of have a recommendation for this. So since we did so much Diablo talk, do you want to split this into 2 videos?
Yeah, we probably can.
Like that way we can just post a Diablo talk and then actually do a why we play.
You know, that's probably a good idea. Okay. Yeah, we'll do it like that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We're about 36 minutes into Diablo talk right now. Let's get any closing thoughts and, you know, any more Diablo talk that we have in mind, and then we'll close this out, and then we'll get into the actual why we play part of it.
Sounds good to me. So, closing thoughts. The Necromancer is looking strong.
Mm-hmm.
It is looking like we might see a new DPS king when he comes out, or we might see a new support king when he comes out. Unfortunately, Blizzard's balancing is whack at times, and this might be a case of players are either going to break it, or it's going to be too weak to break.
Yeah. So I don't know. Part of me kind of hopes that in about 6-8 months we have, you know, 4-man Necromancer groups running around doing GR100s, but no, realistically, I don't think that would ever possibly happen, and 2, I don't think I want it to happen. There needs to be some variety in the game.
Yeah. There definitely needs to be variety.
Yeah.
The big fear most people have about Necro coming over is golems.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest fear is that Blood Golem is going to take over competitive rifting. So they're really watching Blood Golem and kind of... The dev talk that they released specifically stated that they are being very careful about Blood Golem.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Did you watch that whole hour-long interview?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't watch the whole interview. I watched what's his name, Riker, do like a breakdown.
Yeah,
and it was like a 30-minute video, and it had quite a bit of content in it, but it wasn't the whole interview.
Yeah, Riker's a pretty good dude to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, 2.5. I'm really excited about. I think it's going to be really good for the game. I think that Primal Ancients are mainly going to be used for, you know, super, super end game Greater Rift stuff. I mean, I don't see it being possible for anyone to have, like, full Primal gear the first, you know, month of the season. So I think it is kind of a way to expand the life cycle of each season. I think that's probably why they added it in, because by the end of, you know, the first month of a season, you know, you've got guys running around in full ancient items, full ancient sets that are clearing GR100s, and then, you know, a lot of them are just going to get bored. And a lot of
people quit.
Yeah, a lot, especially, maybe not so much the, you know, the streamers and the pro players and, you know, all the people who their whole goal is, to top the leaderboard every month or every season. But the people who are like our group of four, who, yeah, we play and yeah, we want to hit the leaderboards, but we have lives outside of Diablo, so we don't necessarily play 200-300 hours a season. It's the people like us that are gonna get bored once you have pretty much ancient items, and you kind of hit that cap around GR 70s or 80s. I think this will allow people like that to see that light at the end of the tunnel, where, hey, there's still significantly better items out there. Let's try to get full primal ancient gear so that we can solo clear GR 100s.
Right.
So I think overall they're going to be a good thing. The people who are complaining about, oh, well, it's adding too much RNG, Diablo is RNG. The people who are getting mad because primals add too much RNG need to get out, because that's what Diablo is grinding, and both the joy and despair of getting the perfect RNG.
I mean, I kind of agree with that, but I kind of disagree. Like, I can see where people are coming from as far as it's adding too much RNG, because it's not difficult to get completely ancient out in a season, but it takes a lot of grinding to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And this new primal system is just going to be another... It's adding another grind to an already grindy game. That's the thing of it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. We will see what it does to the game. I mean, I think there's no doubt about it that this means that towards the end of the season we're going to be seeing Greater Rift clears that are significantly higher than we're currently seeing. I think that's just a straight fact.
That's also the name of the game, though, too.
Yeah. I mean, Diablo 3, when I first bought it, I bought it thinking, oh, well, I'm excited. I'm going to play the campaign, and, I'm going to have fun with that. And, then maybe I'll get into some of the, rifts and greater rifts and stuff. And then I got the game, and nobody cares about the campaign. That's not why people play the game anymore. People play for the end game. They play for the greater rifts. And, I just think that adding more items to grind for is a good thing for the longevity of the game, even if it, makes some players a little salty right at the beginning. I think overall it will end up being a good thing.
I don't disagree with you. Like I said, I'm worried that it's just gonna be another layer of RNG on an already RNG heavy game. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
But I play WoW consistently, so I mean that's kind of a moot point.
Yeah. Well, I think that's gonna do it. You got anything else?
Monks should be the best DPS over Witch Doctors? ?
I'm okay with it. I enjoy playing Monk, and I just am not into Witch Doctors. Granted, I haven't put nearly as much time into Witch Doctors. I've played like 3 hours of Witch Doctor.
Right.
But it's not as fun. You just click 4 buttons and then run into the center of things and hope that the other classes that you're playing with can keep you alive.
To be fair, you also don't really have the experience to manage a class like that either. Mm-hmm. I think once you get more experience with the game, you're gonna like Wizard, you're gonna like Monk or Witch Doctor a lot more.
Next season, I've already decided I'm gonna start out with Demon Hunter.
Why?
Just for something to do. I mean, we can talk about it more, off camera,
Right.
mostly because our group, we have trouble getting, finding the time for all four of us to be in a game together. And so I end up playing quite a bit of solo. And, I kind of want to play some solo. And
All right.
so we can talk about it more off camera, though. It's not important enough to be in this video, so. So, do you have any final shout-outs in this video?
Shout out to our other two group members, and I guess Riker, since we dropped his name in this. Shout out to Riker. Go check out his channel. It's a very good Diablo YouTube channel. Big fan.
Yeah, he does some good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Primetime CP23, and we are out.